You want to know why most people never achieve their goals? It's not because of motivation. It's not because of discipline. It's not even because they don't work hard enough. Most people never reach their goals because they lack structure, they are not in the right environment, and they obsess over results. So in the previous episodes, we made sure you had the right foundation, the right vision, and the right action plan, the right structure. But now you only miss the right mindset to really get going. You can download the reset guide now in the description that will help you follow through the video and the exercises along the way. Hey, my name is Pauline. I'm a movement expert and entrepreneur, but most importantly, I'm someone who completely shifted my life following exactly what I'm presenting to you in this series. No bullshit. This is what actually worked for me. So the number one reason people quit is they expect results too soon. You start working out and you don't see results within a week, or you start a business and you're not earning money fast enough. This is where most people quit. They might think, oh, I'm not good enough. This is not for me. What the hell was I thinking? All right, reality check. Success is invisible at first. Most of the work happens before you even start seeing results, That's where you have to trust the process and work with a good system that will bring you results. Listen to me. You are not failing. You are in the phase where 99% of the people give up. So are you going to be that 1% that stays in the game? And that often happens to me. And every time I feel like I'm not going to make it, I remind myself, okay, this is the exact moment where most people give up. If I continue, I'm already ahead. So I made a promise to myself to never quit anything when it's too tough or uncertain, because there's too much emotion at that moment. If I ever decide to walk away from something, it would be at a moment when it's more neutral. I can really assess the situation and say, okay, well, now is a good time to walk away. But I'm not letting the emotion make the decision for me. And this is exactly why we set short-term and long-term objectives in episode 3. Because short-term objectives, they're going to keep you engaged. They're like these short, quick wins that actually gives you like bits of motivation. You're seeing some results. The long-term goals, they keep you committed because you design that long-term vision. You know where you're going and you're excited about this. For example, handstand, Yes, one of my dreams is to be able to press to handstand, so like very easily float into a handstand. But imagine if that was my first goal. This is the kind of thing that takes years to achieve. And I wouldn't have seen any results within a week or a month. So I had different, more short-term goals. One of my first goals in handstand was, okay, I want to be able to kick up confidently in the middle of the room without using a wall to overcome my fear of falling. And that was already a massive step for me. And that happened rather quickly with the right method. So I stay engaged with all those quick wins that built up to my long-term goals. Your strategy really needs both short-term and long-term vision. Then second, we already talked a bit about that, but motivation, it fades away. It comes and goes, and you can't really build something on motivation because it's not reliable. Discipline is better, for sure, but you can have all the willpower in the world. If you are running super fast, but you're running super fast in the wrong direction, well, you're just wasting time, resources, and energy. And that's not what we want. So the people that succeed, they don't just work harder. They work harder and smarter. That's why we created a solid foundation in the first episode. That's why we created a very strong vision in the second, and a dedicated and actionable plan in the third episode. If you haven't seen them, I highly recommend you to do this whole series. Third one, and this one is a tough one. If you are the most ambitious person in your group, you are in the wrong group. I repeat, if you are the most ambitious people in your circle, you are in the wrong circles. Look at the people around you. What are they trying to achieve? Are they pushing you forward? Are they the reason why you're playing it small? If your conversations are not challenging you, you're staying average. If your circle isn't trying to grow in whatever direction it is for them, but just trying to do better, you might even feel guilty for trying that for you. And last one, if the people around you are not living the life you want, don't take advice from them. Never take advice from someone that has not achieved what you want to do. And don't take criticism from them either. You know, a lot of people will always tell you all the reason why it's not possible and why it's silly. And if they done it, okay, maybe listen to them. But if they haven't, why would you? For me, changing my environment was a massive accelerator to living my dream life because it allowed me to be exposed more and more to possibilities that I thought once impossible for me or didn't even know they existed. For example, traveling. I'm a big advocate for solo traveling. I think everyone should try it at least once in their life. But traveling alone doesn't solve magically all your problems. If you don't work on your mindset and if you don't work on what you want, you might go to the other side of the world. Even though you don't know anyone there, you're going to end up repeating exactly the same patterns that just don't serve you anymore. To break from that, you need to look at them, realize what you're doing, what you don't want to do anymore, where you want to go, and then being in a neutral environment where nobody knows you can actually help for you to define your new self. When you step out of your usual environment, even just for a short term, you don't have to live for like 6 months. You create a space for a new version of yourself to emerge. You meet new people as the person you want to be and you're building rather than the person your past environment defined you to be. How crazy is that? Like, imagine every person you meet in your life, they meet a different version of you. The thing about getting out of your environment as well is when you finally work on that version of you that is more aligned with what you want and you make it very, very strong, when you go back, if it's like going back home, you know, and like old environments that might have been a bit toxic for you, well, you are stronger, you have more boundaries, you don't shrink back into old habits as easily because you've already anchored into your new self. And you might not realize it, but your next big move can be triggered by the tiniest interaction, butterfly effect style. So if you have time right now, I'm going to tell you my personal story. If you're rushing a bit, you can skip to the next chapter of this video now. I grew up in a small town, 10,000 people tops. It was familiar, comfortable, the kind of place everyone knows each other and everyone stay there and live their lives there. But I know I wanted more for myself. So first occasion I went to Paris to do my studies. And, as a small town girl, you arrive in the big city and you don't fit at first. But that was the point. I wanted to be somewhere to challenge me. Then being in Paris, I got the opportunities to study abroad. So I never traveled as a kid, very far. So when I got the opportunity, I dream of seeing the world. Let's go as far as I can. So I went to Chile to study without even speaking Spanish, I loved it. So I decided okay, I'm going to do my master in the US. At that time, my confidence really started to grow and I was in different environments and I was learning so much on myself. And then came a game-changing opportunity. I saw a job offer to work at Nike headquarters. I always loved the brand. I'm not an athlete. I wasn't even super sporty at that time. I told myself, look, try. Worst case scenario, they say no or they don't answer. But what if it actually works? So I applied and guess what? I got in. I was working at my dream company. And when I arrived, I met some of the smartest, coolest and most ambitious people I've ever encountered. Just do it isn't just words. It's the mentality people working there live by. It's their whole mindset. And I had never experienced this growing up. People actually making you think, what if it works? All that sets up like a chain of reaction because then after I met a girl, she left her job, she left everything behind to become a yoga teacher, organize retreats and traveling full time. And I looked at her life, I talked with her. In my head, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want my life to look like. Maybe I can do that. So, moral of the story, if you really want to grow and go places, you have to put your ego aside and be okay with not being the best person in the room, with not being the smartest, the coolest, but trying to upgrade your environment still. You know, I always admired people that could do crazy handstands and gymnastics tricks and stuff like that. But I had this crippling fear of being upside down and falling and hurting myself. Insane fear. So for a long time, I thought, that just wasn't for me. But I tried anyway. I got out of my comfort zone. I started going to handstand classes and like buying online programs and all those little things that, yes, made me better and one step closer to my goal, but I don't think it was the best structure or the best system. And things really, really changed when I started training with a coach on that. And I didn't choose just any coach. I chose one of the best in his field. And that was intimidating as well, because training with someone that has such a level compared to you is like, oh, who am I to train with them? Is he even going to consider like training me because I'm such a beginner? But I still sent a DM and I was like, let's try, let's see. Worst case scenario, he says no. But he didn't, and I've been training with him for over a year now, and the progress made has been mad. Training with someone that has already achieved what I want to do made me level up so much faster than I could ever have done on my own. So don't let your ego stop you for taking opportunities. And yeah, all that is some highlights from that story. Of course, there's been setbacks, doubts, all that. The thing with chasing any big dream, you know, nobody is really telling you if you're going in the right direction. You have to trust the process at some point and enjoy the journey. You have to keep going and analyze and adapt. And that starts with choosing the right place for you and surround yourself with the right people as well. All right, side note apart. Here are a couple of mindset shifts that I think will really help you. My mom always told me, look, Pauline, you can't change people. The only thing within your control is yourself. You can only change yourself, your actions, the environment you place yourself in, and nothing will change until you do. If your habits stay the same, your life will stay the same. If you never put yourself in an uncomfortable position, you will never grow. So let's do an exercise to push you out of your comfort zone. Right now, either DM someone that inspire you and you want to connect with, maybe someone that has done what you want to do, or sign up for a class or an event where you're not going to be the smartest person in the room. Shift from, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this, to how can I make it happen for myself? What are the steps? What do I need to do? Let's get there. Second, and I'm sorry to tell you that, but you will fall off track. You will fail. No worries though. That just means you're human. And human, they learn and they make mistakes. Progress is not going to always feel super fast or super linear. But failure doesn't mean you have to quit everything. Take it as if it's your GPS just giving you a new direction, you know, because there might be construction work on the way. So you just have to take a detour. Everyone has their own timeline, and trust the fact that you are doing the work and you are exactly where you need to be. And what is going to help you is to have a resilience plan, because your ability to stay in the game and keep going is about exactly knowing what to do when you have setbacks. So, in this last episode, that's what we're going to build, your resilience plan. If it hasn't been done yet, you can download the reset guide for this episode in the description. And let's use it to write down your resilience plan. 4 pillars. First, what do I do when I lose motivation? Revisit your why. Your why is the core reason you decided to change your life. Why did you start this in the first place? Take the time you need to write down the answer and come back to the video. What is the 2-minute action that you can do when you lose motivation? Sometimes you won't have the strength and the stamina to do stuff, but you can commit to 2 minutes. 2 minutes in your day to keep you on track. Whether it's do a 2-minute plank or journal for 2 minutes. What do I do when I doubt myself or I have imposter syndrome? Well, first of all, know that you're not alone and Everyone feels like this. Everyone trying to do something different with their life. I felt exactly like you're feeling. Is there someone that you can reach out to that will give you that motivation boost and be your number one fan? What do I do when I'm not seeing progress? Well, sometimes we feel like there is no progress, but when we look back at it or look at the numbers, actually, there's been quite some progress. We just haven't looked at the right place. So for that goal where you feel a bit overwhelmed, let's write down everything you've done already towards it, all the actions to the smallest, what happened. And from there, you can actually see this is a win, this is a win, this is where I didn't really follow my system, and that is the reason why progress might have been slower. So that's the part I need to revisit. Why didn't I do that? It's like data analytics. Businesses do that all the time. They do, and they look back and analyze, and they make more progress this way. Well, this is the exact same with your life. And then check your expectations as well. Dream big, but realistic as well. Some stuff just won't happen overnight. And last but not least, when life gets in the way, it happens to everyone. You go on holiday, or work is crazy busy, or something might happen in your personal life as well. And that messed up with everything you're trying to build. Well, give yourself a bit of grace. It's not because you're not doing it one day that you are a total failure and you won't ever succeed. So give yourself a bit of grace, but not excuses. Try to start again tomorrow. Don't let a break turn into stopping everything. Another advice, and that's what I was talking to you about in the past episodes, is organize yourself in advance. I put everything in my calendar. I plan for most of the things in my life to make sure my priorities are in order. I'm giving the time and attention to the things and people that truly matters. So write down, how can you batch and schedule things up to make your life easier when things might get in the way? Don't aim for perfection. The goal is progress. And like we said, 1% better every day is better than nothing. All right. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I really appreciate you for following this series. You now have the clarity, the vision, the plan, and the mindset to achieve your goals. But none of that matters if you don't follow through and take action right now. So make a promise to yourself. Promise to yourself right now that you are committing to designing your dream life. And it starts now. Not in an hour, not in a day, not next 1st of January, but it starts right now. The thing is, I can't do it for you. I can't make that decision to commit for you, and I can't take actions for you. However, what I can do is guide you through it, and that's really what I try to do in this series. If you want to go even further and have someone to walk alongside you and keep you accountable and on track to achieve your dreams, well, this is your rare opportunity to join my life design program. So what is it? It's a very high-level personalized coaching program where we work together to build the system for you to design your dream life. Because it's very personalized and I'm deeply involved in that process, there's only a few spots available for those who truly want to take action. If you are serious about this, this is your chance. In the description, there is a link to book a 15-minute call with me, and this is completely free. It's to review if it could be a match and how I can help you and move forward with that. So grab your spot now. There isn't much availability. Imagine in 5 years if nothing has changed. Would you be okay with that? Don't let another year slip away. Start now. I fully believe in you. Au revoir.